Hello everyone and welcome to Club Preview here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I am your host, Scott Carney, and I'm joined by the full house tonight. Ali Pearson, how's it going?
Not bad, it's Friday. Rangers are close again, so looking forward to the weekend.
I actually just forgot to say before we started recording, by the way, this is actually probably going out tomorrow morning and we're all going to talk as if it's Friday night, but such is life, never mind, carry on regardless. Scotia, how's it going, mate?
Good morning, how's everyone?
Yes, it should be good morning, yes, yeah. Well done, Scotia, that was good. And Ryan Haymarsh, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, all good, nice to see you. If anyone hears any background noise, that's my two little boys having FIFA rage with each other, but they've been told to keep the noise down, so apologies in advance if you hear anything.
It's all right, mate. People are used to getting interrupted by your cat, so getting interrupted by actual humans is probably all right, to be honest, mate. So, this probably will be coming to you Saturday morning. We record this on Friday night due to work commitments, and we're here ultimately to preview the St Mirren game coming up on Sunday. We are going to start, of course, with Thursday night's 2-0 win against Brondby at Ibrox to kickstart the Europa League campaign, if you like. So, me and Ali did the reaction from the car. Scotia, I'll come to you. What's your reaction from Thursday night? What was your overall feelings on the performance?
Yeah, I mean, for me, going into last night's game, it was the result more than the performance that really mattered to me in this one. But I think we actually put in a fairly decent performance over the course of the 90 minutes. I think Gerrard kind of echoed that in his post-match comments. I'm still a wee bit concerned with our defence, and in between our defence to midfield, I still think we're a wee bit shaky there, and I think a better team than Brondby would have probably punished us more, in particular with a few chances that they had. But overall, a fairly decent performance, and yeah, we're slowly getting there.
Slowly getting there, yes. Well, I think it was a much improved performance all round. To say, I watched the game back pretty much as soon as I came in last night. I turned on BT Sport and it was on, so I sat and watched it. And I was impressed with parts of our play. Still a few bomb scare moments, to be honest, two in particular. But I mean, overall, Rangers did more than enough to see off Brondby, and it kind of puts us back in the running to get out of this group. Ryan, your thoughts on Thursday night's performance?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the performance. I thought there were signs there of the Rangers we want to see. Some really nice passes of play. From kick-off, Aribo was on it. Like for his first tackle, you could tell he was on it. And I think we've been talking about a player maybe taking us to the next gear. And I think he set the standard. That's where they all should be playing with that. As Gerrard said, his press aggression. They should all be playing like that. And I thought Aribo was I thought he'd man a match up his sleeve by half time. I know he wasn't as good in the second half, but he really was. He was brilliant last night. I enjoyed it. I thought we were by far the better team in the first half, obviously. The second half we dropped off for 10 minutes, which we seem to do every game at the moment. But then we controlled the game, and I watched the reaction you and Ali had in the car, and I thought we did well. I really did. I know we're not in the gear where we want to be, but we definitely played in a higher gear yet last night, and we got a result and a clean sheet. I agree with Scotia. There's still those scary moments that even McGregor, they all look as if they've not played with each other at times. But no, we've upped the gears and we got the performance, and I was quite happy last night.
Yeah, again, that's you're pretty much spot on, mate. As I say, I think Rangers controlled it in the second half, the way that they had to in order to kind of eliminate any threat from Brondby. Brondby, I think, after that kind of 10 minutes that they had at the start of the second half, knew that it wasn't really going to be their night, and they kind of wilted away. And obviously, you're allowed to make 5 changes, obviously, because it's Europe and UEFA European competitions. You're still allowed to make 5 changes, so we made a raft of changes, which really. It always disrupts the flow. It always disrupts how Rangers are going to play. But I think they only added to the control, to be honest, that Rangers had, and it gave us a wee lift when we needed it, and it kind of killed any sort of real comeback chance for Brondby. Ali, obviously, we had our reaction on Thursday night in the car. Anything else changed for you? Or are you still feeling pretty much the same way?
Pretty much the same, to be honest. Did say it just shows the importance of a second goal. That game on Thursday night, should have that should have happened against Hearts. If we'd got a second goal against Hearts, it would have been the same as the Brondby game probably. Second half, I know us as fans were screaming for Rangers to go at these teams and really give them a serious doing, but we've got a big game on Sunday, so there's no point going hell for leather in the second half, and especially when we're playing Sunday. So I get why Rangers played in second gear, if you like, in the second half, even though we did have good chances in terms of Arfield hits a bar, Sakala for me, he's got to score. There's a stonewall penalty in Joe Aribo. How VAR got that wrong is beyond me. It's a bloody stonewaller. Yeah.
So I was literally just about to come on to that, mate. That's the reason I interrupted a wee bit there. We all know what challenge we're talking about. Joe Aribo is blatantly took down in the box. It's the most penalty of penalties you're probably likely to see, and even Gerrard after the game confirms that VAR has missed one. Scotia, how does VAR work?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. No clue. To be honest, when I seen it, I initially didn't think it was a penalty. I thought, well, it probably was a penalty, but the way that Karibo leaves his trailing leg behind, I'm still in the mindset that shouldn't be the case. But I'm wrong in that opinion. But when I seen it back with a proper highlights of it, yeah, stonewall penalty. So how VAR don't even have a look at that or pull it back? I don't know.
I think it did look at it, but ruled it wasn't a penalty.
Has it looked at
I
it?
don't understand.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't understand the rules of football. Then
Yeah.
I don't think. No, it's the most penalty. It is just a penalty. I don't think there's really any doubt about it. It was a sure penalty. I was convinced by it. I say there was a few people around me being like, "Oh, it must not have been because VAR would have checked it." Etc. But no, I mean that has to be a penalty. If it isn't a penalty, if VAR have checked that and they've decided it's not a penalty, then I definitely don't understand the rules of football. Ryan, do you think this puts a wee? Well, I don't think I've ever asked you. Do you want VAR in Scottish football?
Yeah, I think we did speak about that. I don't want it in Scottish football until it's watertight, bulletproof, whatever phrase term you want to use. That's a perfect example. That's a penalty. If it's went to VAR and they've not given it, it's the wrong decision. So VAR it's not where we all want it to be. Once it is, then that's fine. But I just don't think, it just shows that different referees interpret a foul to other referees. If you're stopping a game and going to someone in a room and they're still making the wrong decision, no, I don't want that in Scottish football at all. Scottish football is bad enough when there's a bad decision by a referee or even a good decision with certain clubs. No, I definitely don't want it in Scottish football at the moment.
I see. I'm kind of for it, to be honest. If it's going to make the game better, then yeah. I mean, the moment that obviously the big moment in VAR, or probably the second big moment now, is the goal check that happened and the referee running in the middle of the park doing the BTV screen and pointing and saying goal and everybody reacting like that. It's one of them moments I'll remember forever because it was just very, very strange. Just everybody just completely reacting at the same time. It's not often that kind of happens, something like that. Ali, are you for VAR? Yeah, Scotia.
What I was going to just say about that is that'll probably get tedious after a while if it does come in.
That's true.
Always happens. That's the first time it's happened for us, so it does have that wee bit of excitement. But I think it'll wear thin quickly, I think.
Yeah, especially with the standard of refereeing in Scotland, mate. Yeah, it might wear a wee bit thin. There's probably quite a good point. But I was in quite early last night into the stadium and there was coming up on the screens that VAR was in operation. It was telling you and everything that they check and what they don't check and whatever else. And I was like, well, they're pretty much checking. They definitely said they check penalties. So, or at least, is it decisions that the referee's not seen or maybe got wrong in terms of a penalty, and it's got to be a game-changing decision or something? I don't know. It's probably far too complicated than what it needs to be. But Ali, are you for VAR?
Yes and no. I think it takes the emotion out of the game in terms of you celebrate a goal. If it's one of the dodgy ones and you celebrate it, you're kind of half celebrating it, and another way around, like the goal at Ibrox Thursday night, it was weird celebrating that. you were celebrating, but you kind of weren't. If you know what I mean, it wasn't that initial that rush you get. Didn't get that. It was like, all right, it's a goal. They would, like Ryan says, they would need to get it kind of watertight. I've seen it down in the Premiership. It was a bit dodgy last season, the Premiership. They've seemed to figure out a wee bit this season in terms of Premiership. That's why the rule of let the play continue.
I hate that.
Force. But there was a good example of I was watching the Tottenham game, and Harry Kane scored a goal where he went through and they let the play continue, and it was he gave him offside, and they came back and he was onside. So that's a reason why they do it. But the other side of it is a player could get injured if he actually is offside. So
right, so he was offside, he scored, and then he went back, but he was onside, so the goal stands.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So
well, see, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get why they do it, but I like it. Well, I've lived with VAR for Christ knows how long in football. To me, I like it as it is. There's going to be mistakes in football, and that's the way I kind of like it, to be honest.
Yeah, so you get something to do a podcast about when referees make an arse of it, I suppose. You can't blame refs anymore, you've just got to blame VAR. But it was, again, it will still go back to the penalty. It's just a penalty, it really is. All day long, VAR or not, it's still a penalty. So we'll move on to Gerrard after the match. After the game, he was saying to BT Sport that he was happy to kickstart the Europa League campaign for us. Seemed pretty pleased with the performance. Picked out Joe Aribo as well, and then poor Emma Dodds asked him a question about the rumours of the Newcastle job, and he said, do I look happy? Do I look settled? Don't ask me silly questions, and I won't give you silly answers. Ryan, this is just the news that everybody wanted to hear. Not that I actually thought Gerrard would leave and go to Newcastle, but it puts it to bed now.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody with half a brain would have thought he was going to leave us for Newcastle. He'll leave us for one club and one club only. I think that's pretty obvious. Good on Emma Dodds for asking him, though. I know a lot of these questions I ran past him before the cameras start, but good on her for asking him. And the way he reacted, his answer was spot on for me, absolutely spot on. And no, he won't be going to any mediocre clubs like Newcastle.
Yeah, it was it was incredible. It was just this, Ali. It was the way he said it with a smile as well. It was brilliant to see.
He's done this a few times with reporters, and he likes Emma Dodds because Emma Dodds does Rangers TV. She's staunch. Gerrard knows that. He kind of gave her a wee slap in the wrist as if to say, "Don't say that again." But I'll let you away with this time. But he's done it before in previous reporters, and if you ask silly, it's not. To be fair, it's not a silly question because there is speculation around it. But it's good that he's come straight back and basically went, "I'm going nowhere." So I was happy about it.
Yeah, Scotia that's my gaffer moment.
Yeah, it was good, and I was thankful that it was Emma Dodds that asked the question, because I think that if that was anyone else, they were getting the stare given to them and swiftly batted away. But yeah, I mean, Newcastle itself, it's a kind of a poison chalice, to be honest. They're not going to be able to make any changes until January. They're sitting really low in the Premier League. It shouldn't be a job that Gerrard wants to go to, if I'm being honest, because he's on to a loser with it, I think. At the moment, the teams, Newcastle are rotten at the moment.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think though there's fair play money things come into play as well, because they can't just go and spend willy-nilly. There's got to be something that happens or something. I don't know. Some made up UEFA rule to stop club spending, but you can still spend as much as you want. One of them ludicrous things. But yeah, I was just so happy to see him saying that. It was a good finish to my night, put it that way. When I seen that, went to bed with a massive, even bigger smile on my face. As well, if you have not seen Allan McGregor's RTV interview after the game, go and watch it. The guy, honestly, they should just constantly put Allan McGregor out. Scotia, it was absolutely brilliant.
It was just the way his eyes looked up, and he goes, "Oh, thank you."
Thank you very much.
Was that you, Scotia, that was Wolf whistling at him?
No, excuse me. No, unfortunately not. But I would have if I was there. Where the interview was getting taken. But McGregor's brilliant. And in particular, when we're playing in European games, he seems to speak with a thicker accent that none of the European folk can understand, really. So McGregor's always good for a laugh. More of that, please.
He is. He's excellent. He really is. If you've not seen it, it's on RTV. Honestly, he's great. And I was saying to you earlier on as well, Ali, when I seen you in work, the I don't care if I get a clean sheet or not. See, if we win 2-1, if we win 2-1, we've still won the game. He blatantly does care about clean sheets, though.
Yeah, I think he secretly likes noising the reporters up, and they must dread getting McGregor because they know it. Off camera, they'll all have a laugh because that's the Rangers guy that's asking me questions, so they'll know. But it's funny how I said to you today that all the other guys, it's 2.5, 3 minutes of interviewing McGregor was 50 odd seconds, and you really get nothing out of him at all.
That is, he's absolute class at it. The man's but Ryan, you're in agreement with this. Every presser we have, it should just be Allan McGregor.
I love him. I absolutely love him. He's everything I want in a Rangers player. And let's just take my hat off to his absolute shithousery. I don't know if he's noticed it when, I think it was the first half. Yeah, it was the first half. Yeah, it was Scotland end, and they just missed a chance or a header or something, and 2 balls ended up on the pitch. And the Brondby player went to kick. The referee went, no, you can't take the by kick because there's 2 balls in the pitch. And McGregor had his ball, and the Brondby player went to pass the other ball to him, and he swapped balls with him just to kill a bit of time. You know, it's just absolute shithousery. He knows what he's doing, and he goes and picks the ball up and he kicks the ball by mistake, and it's away from him, just stuff like that. And it's clever. It's stuff that we don't do enough because teams do it against us all the time. And he totally gets it. He gets everything about Rangers and what we want to see. He's fantastic.
It is the wee one where he bends over to pick the ball up, but he continues to kick it with his foot. You're like, it's the most blatant time wasting ever, but I'm the same. I absolutely love when he does it. My dad loves it as well. My dad gets a right laugh out at he's brilliant. And you're right, mate, we don't do enough of that stuff. There's not enough of time wasting and proper, the dark arts, if you like, of a football match. Rangers should really learn to do more of it. But yes, I mean, it finished off a rather pleasing Thursday night. We are now back into it. Leon came back to beat Sparta 4-3 last night. I've not seen the highlights of that game, but it must have been some game of football. And it puts us right back into it. And there's not much from Brondby last night. If anything, they kind of flat to deceive me last night. I expected a wee bit more from them than what they actually gave us, and I seen nothing from them last night that would make me think Rangers won't get 3 points when we play them away in a couple of weeks. So I say we're back into the Europa League now. We're giving ourselves a fighting chance, and it could set up a pretty spectacular game against Sparta at Ibrox. So we'll look forward to that one. So we'll move on to the preview of the St Mirren game on Sunday. It was press conference day on, I was nearly said today there to give the game away. I just gave it away anyway, but Friday morning, and it was Gerrard and Joe Aribo. So Gerrard gave a team update. Ryan Kent has been pushed back about 5 days. They've been told to kind of keep him back. So hopefully the Aberdeen game, if not, it'll be the game after. And Ryan Jack is back in training after 7 months. Ryan, that's music to my ears.
I don't know if you agree with this, but if I'd picked one Ryan to fall back on his programme back to fitness, I would have picked Ryan Kent because he'll come back. But if you told me there, I didn't see the presser, obviously I'd just not long in for work. Just in case Jamie Lowe's watching, he's going to take points off me. I'm really, really pleased to hear that Jack's back in training, because I was worried for quite a while there that, and he's not out of the woods yet, but I was worried that we were constantly seeing this 7 to 10 days thing, or whatever you want to call it. He just didn't seem to, there was no sight of him, and even that Instagram post of his boots you said, that was a few weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. Fantastic news, and the quicker that midfield, how strong is that our midfield going to be once he's back? I mean, it really is, with Lundstrom playing well now, and it's music to my ears. Fantastic. I can't wait to see him in a Rangers shirt again.
I agree. I think obviously he is back training. He has been out for 7 months. It could take some time before we see him. We have to be even more patient than what we are, especially Ryan Jack fanboys like I am. I'm just delighted to see him back with the first team, and hopefully nothing crops up and he continues to get back to match fitness and we see him not before long. Ali, a wee bit of disappointment about Ryan Kent though.
Yeah, I was. He's a huge miss at the moment, Ryan Kent. I was at Brondby game last night. Their right back to me was terrible, and I was just thinking all the time, Ryan Kent would torment that guy. And to be fair, he will be back for the second leg, hopefully, so we can do it then. But no, disappointing. But at the same time, there's no point rushing him back, because if he goes banging a hamstring injury again, that's him out for another 6 weeks or so. So don't rush him back. We've got enough quality to deal with St Mirren on Sunday. So no, I wouldn't rush him back. And even for the Aberdeen game, which is Wednesday, which isn't far away to be honest, I wouldn't rush him. I wouldn't rush him if he's not 100% ready. And on Ryan Jack, I'm delighted to see him back. I think we'll see a midfield three of Kamara, Lundstrom sitting, and Ryan Jack, the right-hand side of him. I think that could be the midfield going forward, which then, as I always say, puts Joe Aribo up further forward where he should be. And I think that could be the Rangers team going forward. Yeah,
that's a lovely thought. Really is. To see Jacko back in the team was just I really can't wait, and I just hope it all goes well for him, because he deserves another crack at the whip, that is for sure. Scotia, I'll come to you because you're a defender at heart, mate, so we'll speak about Balogun. Gerrard says they're hopeful. They've not ruled them completely out for Sunday. Even after the game against Brondby on Thursday night, he said that he would kind of have nightmares about it, hoping that, or a sleepless night along the lines that he said around it. So I think it just shows how critical Balogun is, and fingers crossed that he makes it for Sunday.
I'm up in the air for Sunday with him. I'd prefer him probably to play in the game on Wednesday against Aberdeen. So I would be tempted, if there is any potential issue, just to give him a rest, because he's been brilliant since Hellanders went out injured. And if it wasn't for Aribo's performance last night, I would have probably given it to Balogun. Thought he was the best defender we had on the pitch last night, or Thursday night, sorry. Keep giving it away.
No, it's maybe fucked it about 20 seconds into the pod, mate. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. No, but he was brilliant last night again, and he was bringing the ball out, sort of playing out from the back quite a few times, and yeah, he looked brilliant, and he's been pretty solid ever since he's come in, as I say. So hopefully it's not too bad, but if there is any issues, I'd probably be tempted to give him a rest for the game on Sunday and save him for the game on Wednesday. Yeah, mate, you've probably got a shout there, to be honest. I would agree. I think he was really good. I was quite harsh on Goldson last night at half-time when I spoke to you boys. I didn't think he was particularly good on Thursday night, but after watching it back, I think he was probably better than I thought he did. He was pretty solid in the second half. He didn't make too many mistakes in the second half. So, yeah, I mean, I've kind of pie in my face really with that one. We'll move on to... Yeah, go on. Carney, can I just jump in quickly about Jack? What I think is absolutely huge for us is in a month's time we'll have the Prague game when they come back over to Ibrox, and that's potentially winner takes second kind of game. So having Jack back fit and ready for that game, I think is huge. So we're very excited about that.
I think that might be too soon, mate. Genuinely, I think that's still a bit too soon. I'm genuinely not expecting to see them before Christmas. I'm really not. I think they'll take their time with this, because I think they already have. Any wee sort of niggle that kind of crept up was an extra 7 to 10 days. Our favourite saying when we're talking about an injured player. So I think they might take their time. Look, mate, if he's ready for Sunday, mate, fling him in. Genuinely, I'd love to see him back, but I just don't see it happening. I think they'll really take their time. Ryan Kent will be back as soon as they think he's ready, because he's not missed that much football, let's be completely honest with us. Ryan Jack's been out for 7-8 months now. So we'll move on to the Goldson contract thing that continues to creep up. Steven Gerrard's comments on it were pretty good, to be honest. When the wife wants money and you only want to give a certain amount away, there is always a negotiation, is the way that he summed it up. Ryan, a wee call out to Heart and Hand here. I listened to the update on my way home, and it was Colin at McMillan had done it today, and he mentioned that there was an interview with BT Sport before the game. Now, obviously, I was at the game and I didn't see it. Handy said that Connor Goldson was asked, does he see his future in Glasgow? And he said yes, as long as it's right for him and his family. Is this just all down to he wants X amount and we're only going to give him Y?
I've got a feeling it's not. I've got a feeling Goldson's been tapped up. I don't like his answers now. I don't. What he said the other day there about I've not heard from the club. I didn't think that was a good answer. I thought he should have been a wee bit more prepared for that. And I've seen some comments of people saying, "Oh, the club need to come out and say whether he's staying or not." Why would the club do that? Why would the club say, "Oh, he doesn't want to sign a contract, then the pressure's on the player"? Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that he wants to see what comes in January if somebody has not already approached him, and that's his prerogative if that's what he wants to do. But if we're not getting performances out of him, it's like I said the other day, it's not going to. It could turn before Christmas with the fans. You can already feel people unsettled, and I'm hearing shouts where I'm sitting. If he does something wrong, fucking sign a contract and this and that, and it's not nice when a player's just not really committing to the club or nobody's saying anything. The longer this goes on, I don't think it's looking good, but it does feel as if it's going to come to the boil very shortly by the looks of it. If Gerrard started commenting on it, but maybe I'll be completely wrong. They'll sign a contract tomorrow.
Possibly, mate. It all will come out in the wash, mate. I'm not so sure, mate. I don't know if I'm going to be as pessimistic, if that's the right word, as you are about the situation. Maybe I'm just my blue tinted glasses, mate, and I'm just believing everything that he said. And I'm like, okay, you want to be here for longer. It's now up to you to prove that you want to be. The amount of money he's probably asking for is probably close to lower Premiership. I would imagine he's probably a wee bit aware of what John Lundstrom's maybe being paid, and he's thinking he's one of the top performers in the team, which he is. The amount of football he's played for us is crazy. But the club might hold steady on it, but it would be a shame to lose him altogether and not make any sort of money back on him. Are you in Ryan's camp, or are you in Ryan's camp in the sense that you think it's all about smoke and mirrors with Goldson, what he's saying, or do you think he's genuinely here to stay?
If I had to put money on it, I'd say he's away in the summer. I don't think he'll go in January, but I think he'll go in the summer. But that's not saying he's not going to put in a shift from now at the end of the season. I don't think he's that type of guy, Goldson. But I thought he played well last night, Goldson. Like I say, he was my player of the year last season, but we're in November soon, and like I say, we'll be in January and he can sign a pre-contract. He could potentially earn 60, 70 grand a week down the Premiership. We can't pay. Lucky if we could pay half that. So, I would say he's away. Because at the end of this season, that's him being at Rangers 4 years. What age is he? 28 or something. He's probably got one last big move in him. So he's English. Yeah, I think he'll be away in the summer, if I'm being blatantly honest. Sorry to sort of ruin your parade there, Gary, that you thought you might say, mate. No, that's me just being honest about it.
Well, of course, mate. As I say, you're always very positive, Ali. Obviously, everybody that watches this podcast will know how positive you are about things. But I think, Scotia, if what Ali's saying is true and he's going to potentially go in the summer, see when you hand your notice in at work, do you give it 100%?
You don't, but I think football's a completely different type of workplace. I mean, the amount of stick he'll get if he's not even turning in performances. I think I'm like the other two there, that I think that's him. He's going, and Rangers have got a pretty big decision to make in January, whether or not we get a nominal fee for him or we just wait until his contract runs down. And the other big thing that Rangers now need to look at then as well is Balogun's contract runs up at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. Should we be extending his contract a bit further to maintain a wee bit of consistency in the defence, while we look for someone else if, as I suspect, Connor Goldson does go away? So I hope I'm wrong, but I think he's going away, and it's a risk we're taking. We're not turning players over in the quick amount of time to get any money back on them, because I think Kent, Morelos and Jack's contract all expires at the end of next season. And we've got that issue that we're getting at this stage where players will be needing our own wage cap that we don't really want to exceed, because we all know what happened last time we exceeded and spent silly money on contracts. So you'd like to think that would never happen again. So I think he's gone.
Scotia, can I ask you a question? Obviously, since you're the expert defender on this panel here, so
wish I'd never said that.
I know, defender at heart. So no, I spoke in another podcast about Goldson in terms of the other centre halves we have can't do what Connor Goldson does in terms of, I call him a ball playing centre half. They can't do that job. How difficult do you think it would be to go and replace Goldson in the summer, i.e. to get a ball-playing centre-half, because the other centre-halves we've got can't do Goldson's job in terms of the we want to play football. You can't have two bruisers at the back if you want to say you need a ball player one side.
No, it'll be very difficult, and we could find a hidden gem somewhere. I know there's talk of Suter all the time. He's slightly plays with the ball, but he's really injury prone. The one thing that Goldson does as well is that he ties all the defence together. We noticed it when he was that game that he was missing, that the defence looked all over the place. So he gives you that kind of solidity, even if he's not playing great himself. He ties everything together, and players can cover for him if he's not having a great game. It's going to be really difficult, but now that it's getting to this stage, I'm going to be scouting for defenders all over Europe.
Don't worry, Gerrard. Scotia's on the case.
I'm on the case, yes.
You'll find your player. I think I'm probably being a bit critical on Goldson just now as well, because I know the situation, and your head's always going, "Oh, the guy doesn't want to be here," and it's not good for fans either, because you do be a wee bit critical. But then I hear the comments that he's apparently said. I've not seen the interview, but the comments that he's apparently said that he wants to stay and he doesn't want to be remembered just for 55. He wants to be remembered for 56. I know that's all easy to say. I do get that. It's all very, very. It's an easy thing to say, but I'm like, right, well, it's now up to him though. Whether it's enough or it's not enough. I agree with Ali that he's probably got one big last move in him. So we'll need to wait and see with it, to be honest. But to replace him, man, I don't think there's anybody in the Scottish League anyway that would be able to replace him.
How much did we pay for him? Was it 3.5?
3 million.
That's what I was just about to say there. Sorry to interrupt you boys, when you were saying about how much would it cost you to replace him. If you look at how much we spent on Hollander, what was he? Three and a half.
Yeah.
So 3.5, who is not a ball player, and the reason we got him for 3.5 is he's a fantastic defender, Hollander, but he's slow. If you want a player who can play football with the feet, who's got a bit of pace on him and can defend, you're talking a lot more than 3.5 million, I reckon, yeah.
Yeah,
particularly if we're aiming for the Champions League next year as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it does. It opens up an after question. I mean, obviously, if we win the league, we're going to have quite a bit of disposable income. I'd imagine some of that's going to go in a new goalkeeper. That's just my guess. I'd presume that we would be looking to invest in a keeper, and yeah, it's probably going to need to be a centre half if Goldson decides to leave. Look, it's one of these ones we're going to need to wait and see, but the closer it's getting to January, the more the questions will continue to get asked. It's spoke about quite a lot now, so it's really up to the club and to Connor Goldson to decide what they want. By what Gerrard's saying, I think the club are holding stump on it, and Connor Goldson's not willing to drop to whatever they're offering. So we'll need to wait and see if there's going to be a middle ground found. So on to St Mirren themselves, onto the game. Since they got demolished by Celtic at the end of August, 6-0, they've actually been on a not bad run of form. They've drawn 3 and won 3, including a win against the Sheep. So Ali, what's your thoughts about the game on Sunday? How are you feeling about it?
I said to you what today, St Mirren's one of these teams. I don't know what their stadium's called now. It keeps changing names, but we always go there and never give them a doing. It's always a tight game, and I expect it to be a tight game again. They've won, you said, 3 in a bounce there. They've got a boy Brophy up front, he was a bit of a thorn in our side with Kilmarnock before, so he might play. He's got Jim Goodwin, he's got them playing quite well. Apparently they like to play football, so we'll see if they'll play football against us or if they'll sit behind the ball, I don't know. But yeah, it'll be tricky down there. I expect it to be a hard game down there, and I don't expect a lot of goals, if I'm being honest. So there's a clue to my scoreline.
Yeah. We struggle when we go to Paisley. We really do. I know we've been there sometimes during monsoon season, and it's not been the best of conditions. But it's been a place that we've had our problems in the past. Scotia, how are you feeling ahead of the game?
It's the dreaded 12 o'clock kickoff on Sunday.
Oh no!
A couple of seasons ago was an absolute nightmare for us. And yeah, you're right. Probably one of the first pods I think that you and Ali done would have been that 3-2 defeat in the League Cup. Was it that? It was League Cup last year. To be honest, I've not seen St Mirren an awful lot this season, but by all accounts, like you say, they are playing pretty good football. I noticed that they're the top scorers in the league out with ourselves, Celtic, and both the Edinburgh clubs. So that kind of shows you, they're sticking the ball away quite a lot. And apart from that 6-0 hammer into Celtic, they're not conceding too many either, really. So I think, it will be quite a tough game. But as I say, I've not seen St Mirren that much this season, so I can't really comment on how they'll play. Although Jack Allan with some goals for them, isn't he? So
yeah, Jack Allan with some goals for them.
Face.
Yeah, you're right. I literally just looked up the table there. So the goals against are 12, but obviously 6 of them were against Celtic. When it was the second coming of the Celtic team that we were all expecting, or they were led to believe even. Ryan, how are you feeling ahead of the game on Sunday, mate?
I feel confident if we show the attitude and desire that we showed last night. I think our mindset was right last night. Like I said with Aribo, he showed the right attitude, and if the majority of our players do that tomorrow. I don't see us getting anything but 3 points. I was quite impressed to see, and correct me if I'm wrong, that St Mirren have only lost 2 games this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that just shows you they're not an easy team to beat. But yeah, I think if we show the right attitude and desire, then we'll get 3 points on Sunday, and we should. Big performances from Aribo again. I want him to kick on and get a run of form now, because I think he's getting into gear just now. He's looking like as if he'll kick on to be a player of the year for us, and now he's looking bang on form, and he could be the player that takes us. I said Hadji during the week, but Aribo could be the guy that takes us up to the next gear.
I agree. The rule breaker, as he's called himself, and what Gerrard was saying anyway, that he's the rule breaker and he's allowed to break formation, if you like, and take the ball on himself. And long may it continue, because there was moments in that first half on Thursday night he was completely unplayable. Honestly, the way he flings, it's the way he gets himself in front of a man, and he's some size of a lad. You forget how big Joe Aribo is. He's a big lad, and the way he gets in front of him, and he's sometimes his control that he can show, and his ability to get literally out of a phone box with 5 guys in it. He comes out with the ball. It's absolutely incredible to watch. But yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I think if we have now found a wee bit of form, it looks like we are slowly getting better and better. I don't see why we shouldn't be feeling rather confident going to Paisley on Sunday, but it is the dreaded 12 noon kickoff. I can't stand it, honestly, because it kind of became a thing for a while with us. So we never really seemed to perform that well at 12 noon on a Sunday, but I think we've got more than enough to see the game out. So, Scotia, I'll come to you first, mate. What's your team prediction for Sunday?
Yeah, I struggled with this because both the next 2 couple of games we've got in the league are important, because we've kind of messed up against Hearts there. But I would probably rotate a wee bit here. I know Aberdeen have been absolutely rotten this season. I think they've lost the last 5, Aberdeen, but they're playing Rangers, and who do Aberdeen raise their game against? It's us. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I've went for a bit of a change team for the game on Sunday. I've gone McGregor in goals, Tav right back, Goldson in the middle, along with Simpson. I think he needs to start getting some game time if Balogun's carrying that knock. And then I put Bassey out at left back. Went for a midfield of Kamara, Lundstrom, And I think I'll go with the lesser spotted Scotty Arfield. I know he came on the pitch the weekend there, but I'd maybe play him. This could be a game that suits him. And then up front, going with Aribo, Morelos and Sakala.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, it's nothing like my team, to be completely honest. That's interesting, mate. Ali, do you want to go next, mate?
Yeah, Scotia's went a wee bit wild there. You been drinking tonight, Scotia?
You had a beer, Scotia, yeah.
Just the one, yeah.
No, I think Shagger might have a wee rest at the weekend and come back for the Sheep. So I've went McLaughlin in goal. I've went a back for a Tav, Goldson, I think Simpson as well, because I wouldn't risk Balogun. And Barisic, I've got a left back. Midfield 3, I've got Kamara, Lundstrom sitting, and Aribo, even though I like Aribo further forward. And the front 3 of Hadji, Morelos and Roof. That's my team.
That's a strong team, mate. That's very little rotation in that, to be completely honest, mate. It's a strong team. I think I think the only one that we will all probably agree on is that Kamara will definitely play. Ryan?
Ali, who was your other centre-half at Goldson, sorry?
Simpson.
Right, no, I thought it was the same team as you're not, so I have went... Oh no, you've not got Shagger either, so I'm completely different. I've got Shagger, Tavernier, Goldson, Bassey, Borna.
Oh God, Bassey at centre-half, Ryan. Christ.
Yeah, he's played that. I would rather have him at centre-half than Simpson. I'll be honest, that's where I'm at just now, and I know he didn't cover his own glory in Sparta, but it's one game, it's done. Kick on, son. That's where I'm thinking about it. Lundstrom and Kamara sitting, Joe floating up and down the way he did last night. Hadji, Morelos, Roof.
Again, quite a strong team, that, to be completely honest. I'm going to
I want us to get... Sorry, Scott. I want us to get it settled. I think we're entering a period now, especially run up to Christmas games. We need to start getting a settled team, back four, everywhere along that team. And I know he likes to rotate 3 or 4 players. But I think we need to start getting a settled team, especially if we're starting to get a wee bit of form at the moment. So I'd like to see us just stop rotating so much. I know it's hard with the injuries and stuff, but I'd like to see a bit more settled team.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've made a few changes. I'll go with Ali on. I think McLaughlin will start. I'm shocked that nobody picked Patterson. I really am. So I've went Patterson, Goldson, and I'm going to go with Bassey as well for the same reasons that Ryan said, which will irritate that guy in the comments. I'm sure that I've agreed with Ryan. But Bassey for me, there is absolutely no doubt. I would rather Bassey than Simpson at centre half. I don't have the confidence in Simpson at all. Whereas I think Bassey would literally break down the whole stadium to stop a ball going in. I think he's an imposing man, and he's got the pace to keep up with Brophy as well. So I'm going to go with Bassey. Barisic at left back, Lundstrom, Kamara, Aribo in the midfield, and I'm going Sakala, Morelos, and Hadji up front. And I was close to not playing Morelos and just playing Roof, but I think he will stick with Morelos. So yeah, Ryan, back to you. Score predictions, mate.
I'm going 3-1 Rangers. Joe to score first. He is the flavour for me now. I'm loving him.
Yeah, Scotia.
I've went 3-1 as well. And although he definitely won't start. If he does, Arfield, I think he'll get the first goal. Otherwise, it'll be Alfie.
Definitely been drinking. Ali?
2-0 Rangers. A Jack Simpson header for a corner. First goal.
I've been drinking.
You're all laughing out. Wait till it happens.
Not a chance. Well, no, you never know. I'll take it, mate. I'm going to go 2-0 as well, and Aribo to score anytime. He is absolutely flying just now, and if he continues to get that kind of more freed up role, if you like, to push forward, then yeah, I fancy Joe Aribo to get a goal. So that'll do us. Thank you, everybody. Ali, thank you very much.
No problem. We'll speak to you again.
Yeah, Scotia, cheers, mate.
Cheers. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm away off to watch the B team play. So
I get so confused there. What day is it? Ryan, cheers, mate.
Cheers, boys. I'm going to Paisley on Sunday, so looking forward to that. And if anybody's been watching and was concerned about this side, the scarf here, it's returned home. We have it, home and safe.
The scarf is home, thank goodness. So yeah, we will be back on Sunday with a club reaction of some form. We'll be back and we'll bring you reaction to that. So shameless plug from me, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a wee 5-star rating wherever you listen to us, and share and like anywhere that you possibly can, just to help us get out to as many Bears as possible. Really is appreciated. And that'll do us. Back to league action. Hopefully Rangers continue their winning ways, and we get back to winning ways on Sunday in the league. So that'll do us. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy the game, and we'll speak to you after it. We are Club at 22, the Champions Podcast. Cheers.